Have you ever wondered about the unseen narratives of the Civil War? It's about time we address the enigmas of this critical juncture in American chronicles. The Civil War was not just a clash between North and South, nor was it solely about slavery. It was an intricate tapestry of economic, political, and dynamics. Visualize it as a complex labyrinth, each pathway leading us to a distinct aspect of the dispute. The war was propelled by more than just the slavery. Economic inequalities, political power struggles, and societal tumult were influential factors. To truly grasp the Civil War, we must shine a light on these often overlooked elements, revealing the entire complexity of the event. History is filled with unforeseen truths that challenge our preconceived assumptions. As we delve into the depths of the Civil War, the economic divide, political intrigue, and social discord that defined the battle. Get ready for a riveting expedition into the 19th century to unearth the war's hidden narratives. Are you prepared for an exciting journey into the forgotten past? Fasten your seatbelts and let's plunge into this. The North and the South weren't just geographically different. Their economies were worlds apart too. In a brief look at the mid-19th century, visualize the North as an industrious hive with bustling cities and a rapidly expanding railway system, fueling the American Industrial Revolution with manufacturing. Contrastingly, a few hundred miles south, an agrarian society thrived. The South, blessed with fertile soil and warm climate, was deeply rooted in agriculture, primarily tobacco, cotton, and rice farming, with enslaved people working on large plantations. This economic divide was a deep fissure, impacting viewpoints on major issues. The industrial North favored protective tariffs to guard its manufacturers, while the agriculture-based South opposed them, considering them harmful to their export-dependent economy. This economic conflict resulted in the North moving towards a wage labor system due to rapid industrialization, while the South clung to its plantation economy, reliant on slavery. This divergence sowed the seeds of tension, leading to the Civil War. The war was not just a moral fight over slavery, but also a struggle between differing economic systems. The economic disparities between the North and the South added depth to our understanding of the Civil War. Economic disparities were just one thread in the intricate tapestry of the Civil War. Let's unravel more. In the game of power, who holds the reins matters, and in the pre-Civil War era, it was a contentious issue. The United States landscape during the tumultuous mid-19th century bore witness to an ideological tug-of-war. The heart of this fierce debate was the control of power. Should it be centralized or left in the hands of the states? The industrial North advocated for a robust central government that could support their economic growth. They desired protective tariffs and federal funding for infrastructure. Conversely, the agricultural South, fearful of policies that could harm their interests, insisted on states' rights. Issues like protective tariffs, beneficial to the North but costly for the South, became contentious points. At the crux of this divide was a power struggle. The North and the South were wrestling for the government's control to safeguard their interests. Further, the country's westward expansion escalated this struggle. New states' admission to the Union could tip the power balance. The question was, would these be free or slave states? Who would lead in Congress? This clash for dominance, alongside economic disparities and contentious social concerns, set the stage for the Civil War. The political power play was a key piece of the Civil War puzzle, but there's more to the story. Society is a reflection of its time, and the time leading up to the Civil War was fraught with social tensions. The Civil War, a stark manifestation of a divided society, was not merely about geography. This divide cut deep into societal fabric, highlighting stark cultural contrasts. A traditional agrarian society had been established in the South, heavily reliant on enslaved labor for cotton plantations. Southern aristocracy, deeply invested in this lifestyle, perceived it as their heritage and identity. The North, on the other hand, was in the grip of the Industrial Revolution. A melting pot of immigrants, factories, and railroads, it was a dynamic society experiencing rapid evolution. The abolitionist movement, calling for slavery's end, was gaining momentum here. This was not merely a fight for freedom, but for human dignity. These contrasting societies were on a collision course, their cultural differences, conflicting values, and escalating tensions over slavery contributing to a social powder keg. When this keg exploded, it sparked a conflict that forever altered American history's course. However, social strife wasn't the sole factor at play. There was another overlooked piece to this complex narrative that added fuel to the fire and served as a catalyst for the Civil War. The social strife added fuel to the fire, but there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to explore. Every story has a turning point, and the Civil War was no exception. Now, we journey back to the summer of 1862. A key event is taking place, the Second Confiscation Act. This pivotal law, enacted by President Lincoln, proclaimed that all slaves of those rebelling against the government were now classified as captives of war. As such, they were declared free. This was not merely a tactical decision. It was designed to undermine the Confederacy by stripping it of its labor force. More than that, this turning point signified a monumental shift in the Union's war objectives. It went from preserving the Union to the emancipation of slaves. This critical juncture contests our understanding of the Civil War. It compels us to remember, history is often more complex than it seems. The Civil War was a complex interplay of economic, political, and social elements, intricately intertwined by the threads of history. It was a conflict that pitched the farming South against the manufacturing North. Elements of political maneuvers and societal were at play, with slavery being the catalyst for underlying disagreements. This battle represented a watershed moment in the annals of American history, wreaking havoc the nation's unity. Hence, when someone claims that the Civil War was solely slavery, you'll understand that the narrative is much more nuanced. The war was a conflict with many dimensions, a reality that we've now brought to light.